Hey, this is Danielle over at DIYDanielle.com, and today I want to show you my chicken moat around my garden. And yeah, I recorded this video before and it had all sorts of noise in the background, so we're redoing it. So let's get started. Okay, so starting here we have a 𝐸𝐤𝐤 AC powered 1 joule electric fence controller. It is attached here to the fencing, and I have this to connect both sides of the fence. So this side is one fence and this side is another fence. This is attached to this. So this is the most electrified fence. This transfers the electrified piece over to this side. This way, if I want to get in to my garden, I just pull this off, clip it wherever, and I can just open this up. So we're going to put that back there. Okay, we've got 3 different ground rods. So it connects to the ground rod, and there's another ground rod over there, and there's another one on the other side. The ground rods help make it as strong as it needs to be. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to note is this is goat fencing. This is poultry netting. They're both from Premier One. I prefer this strongly, and they have these step-in posts that look like this. So you see it's got like a kind of like a U shape. They're very easy to get stepped in. These have just a normal, like straight, like metal rod that goes into the ground. I do not like them as much. They don't go in as well. So I recommend these. They make the goat and sheep ones the same, or with the option to do the U-shape design. But yeah, you have to actually choose that one. Now that I've had both, I have preferences. Okay, so the idea is that we have an area around the garden that the chickens can go around, gives them plenty of room to exercise, and ideally they won't be able to get over. This little girl managed to fly over this morning. I have a few areas I need to fix, I think. I added the baling twine. It is attached on the fencing, and then it is attached to these clips. These plastic clips are pacifier clips that you would use for sewing and attaching, some fabric to, or ribbon. I just bought that, tied the thing on, and then I attach it, I attach it to the non-electrified piece of my electric fence. These are not electric, these are. Okay. The purpose of the baling twine is to just make a barrier and keep the chickens from trying to fly out. They don't like getting caught in things, and hawks and stuff will see the visual. You want it something they can see, of course, not just, clear fishing line. You want something they can see. I added just kept tying little pieces of baling twine on the end, and the idea is it'll help keep them from flying out. I have a few zones, and I think that's why she got out, but for the most part, it's working pretty well. So again, you don't want to clip these on to the electrified part, because if you do, you're going to get yourself into a position where you're kind of shorting out your electric fence. At least that's how I understand it. So I'd initially put these logs around my garden. I was thinking I would dig a hole take a hole in the middle of them and plant flowers. Obviously, that's just way too much work. So we're not doing that. I was not able to get myself together for that. So the chickens can hop on it. I think I want to roll these away from the garden fence because it gives them an option to kind of jump on one and try to jump over. I think for the most part they're getting in a different section, but just in case, I may eventually remove those and put them on the inside of the fence. But they do enjoy picking around them because there's usually a lot of bugs. So I ended up, one of the main issues I had was that my goat and sheep fencing was long enough to go from there all the way around to the coop, but my second row of chicken fencing was not. So I ended up having to do this. It's a huge mess. I haven't figured out a good way around it, but that's what that looks like. I can't walk around on that side, so we're gonna go this way. Okay, so there's our gate, our large gate. This can pull off and open up, so I can get a tractor in there if I need to. I would have to lock the chickens in the coop during that time. So I have some wire here to try to keep the chickens out that I just attached with zip ties. Okay. As you can see, they've dug up a lot of this area. You don't see a lot of grass here. And whenever I want to mow, I can pick this up, move it in. I think this is electrified right now. I move it in like this. As you can see, it moves the fence line in. And I go all the way down and move it in, mow, and then I just move it right back out. And if I need to, I adjust these here. Okay. So I added a second gate here, a smaller one, because when the chickens do get stuck in here, sometimes they end up in this corner trying to get back. Even if that gate's wide open, they will sit here at night trying to get through because they won't think to go around. So I put this here just to make it easier. As you can see, again, I zip tied some of that green sheep fencing right around the bottom of the fence and on the sides so that they can't get in. Don't be a stinker. Okay, so this area is a zone that has some elderberry. I used to have my fence going all the way up here, but I decided to move my garden fence in this way to give them a little bit extra room. The elderberry's very, very happy to grow, and it's a little bit invasive. And I wanted to make sure that they had a little area with some shade and some plants, and I figured this could survive it. And they seem really happy with it. You can see they're hanging out over there. Hi, ladies. So they really like that area. I threw a couple of the logs over here. I put some on the inside of the fencing because otherwise they were able to push under. I didn't want them doing that. So as you can see, it's just a nice little zone for them. They got some sunny spots, they got some shady spots, and it's a little bit cooler over here. So here's our best egg nest box. I like this because all the eggs, they go in this side, they lay their eggs, and it's on a slant, so the eggs roll this way. Is it still on? No, okay. Okay. Let's see. So this opens up, and you can collect your eggs, and they generally tend to be pretty poop-free. Unlike if you left it inside a regular nest box where the chickens, you know, are not that neat. So, yeah, so it ends up being a little cleaner, easy to get around here. So we also have a, this here, the omelet, sorry. This is the omelet automatic door, Coop door. There's a little light, and then we have the controller thing here. And all I do is I've got that set to go open and close depending on the light. So it closes when the light, and it closes when the sun goes down. It opens again when the sun comes up. That way they're not out here overnight. And the chickens are pretty smart about going in to their coop at the right moments. So that has not been a huge problem. Got water for them here and there. Hi, friends. This is a protected area, so I could keep them closed in here if I need to. So they can just use this in the coop. I need to change bedding in here because I haven't found I think I might do some wood chips in here at some point. But they're not in here as much, so it stays a little bit cleaner longer. So, but this is predator proof, so if I had a major issue and needed them in here, I can lock them in here. It just wouldn't be as awesome. They have 50 pounds of food in there, so they can help themselves. The food is gravity driven, so it pops right down. And I don't love how this does this. I fixed it on the other side, but I need to fix this too. So I think this is probably where the chicken's getting over, so I need to add some additional twine across here. But here's some more elderberry plants. And again, I just kind of rigged some stuff because some of this is temporary because I want to do some fixing up here. But just did some rigging to keep them in and give them a little spot. But they can go all the way around the garden here. I just can't go all the way around because I have this electric here. So again, not my best planning, but yeah. So there's that. So I'm hoping this will allow the chickens to kind of keep the grass from growing into my garden, which is you can see has been a problem in the past. And it's very hard to weed right next to this fence. And weed whack for that matter, because it's right next to a fence and I don't like using poisons. So this is a good solution for us. And again, I am pretty easily able to move the fence in and out to do mowing along the outside part, because they don't like getting electrocuted here. So they tend to stay away from the electric fence. Yeah, so I'm hoping it'll keep bugs and weeds from going into my garden and overall make my life a little bit easier. So far, I've been pretty impressed. It kept the neighborhood dog out and the chickens seem really happy. And I'm hoping it'll kind of get them going around the garden more, because that gets them a little bit of exercise, and if they feel safe, they're more likely to go walk over in the other direction. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. Thanks so much for watching. Sorry it's so long. Have a great day. Make sure you follow me on DIYDanielle.com, and I'll have more information about what products I used on my blog post on DIYDanielle.com. Thanks. Take care.